One of the things that I try to do all the time in my videos, in any video that I do, is to make the production quality look a little bit higher than it is. Make it look like I've spent more time and more money on each video than I actually have, and I'm sure all of us do the same. One of those things that you can do really easily that costs you no extra money at all is to animate your titles. But who the heck has time to animate all of the titles they put in their videos? Not I, that's for sure. Animating titles can take a long time, like a really long time, and it's actually really hard if you start from scratch. Not to mention you just might not have enough time to actually animate your titles. You just make them really simple because that's all that you have time for. To make this a lot easier and way faster for me and my editor, we basically made a whole bunch of different templates that we could use for titles. Titles that we can bring in really easily and quickly, like this one, or that one. And the best part is that you can do all of this in Premiere. You don't have to open up After Effects. You don't need anything else. You can do it all in Premiere and even customize these titles all within Premiere. And I've been using these animated titles for a little bit now, and I've found them to be so useful. So I thought, hey, maybe you guys would also find them useful. So I'm actually gonna start selling these motion graphic templates. Now you could just make your own and do exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's probably actually the better way to make your own, customize them to your own liking, make them your own style. But a lot of us just don't have the time for that, or maybe you don't even have the skill for that. So yeah, it's just easier to buy some templates, and now you have this whole wide range of different titles that you can use that are all animated. The production quality, the production value is way higher than just having, you know, a basic title in your video. There's a ton of different assets in this pack. I tried to keep them nice and simple, elegant, and clean, not too stylized, so you can actually use them in your videos. I find a lot of times I would buy some sort of template pack and they're just too stylized, too much is going on that I barely ever end up using them because they just don't fit in the regular old video. You kind of have to find a very specific purpose for those titles. They're not ones that you can just use all the time. So I wanted these to be nice and simple and elegant and clean. I feel like I'm definitely a minimalist, so that's the kind of the style I wanted to go for. We also gave you guys some different backgrounds that are also animated, and you can combine them with the titles, and basically you just have a whole bunch of different options that you can go for. Okay, I'll quickly show you how they work and kind of some general rules or guidelines on how I think it's best to use them. Okay, so here's the files. This is what they look like. They're kind of weird format, but all you need to do is go into Premiere and into your Essential Graphics panel, and then you just click this little plus button, and then you can add them in there. The only problem with this method is that you can only choose one at a time, and we have a whole bunch of different templates, so it's a little bit annoying to go one by one. But the easier method with a whole bunch of templates is to actually just copy and paste them into the right folder. On a Mac, you want to go into the library folder and make sure it's your user library, or else you won't find the right folder. Then go to Application Support, Adobe, Common, and Motion Graphic Templates. Copy and paste all your files into that folder and then restart your Premiere, and they should all be within the Essential Graphics panel. Now you also do get the After Effects file, so if you know how to use After Effects, you can go and change them, modify and make your own using these as kind of your starter. But don't worry, you do not need to go into After Effects. There's absolutely no need to go into After Effects if you do not want to. But we thought it'd be just nice to give you guys the option to go and customize them even more if you want to and have the skill. Now to make it so you can find them a little bit easier, I select all of them and then I copy them to the library. That just makes it so a lot of the other ones aren't showing, and I just basically have the ones that I actually use. Okay, so now that that's set up, they're always gonna be in Premiere waiting for you. Whenever you need a title, just choose the one you want and drag it in. And this is how easy it is to quickly customize it. Let's say you're doing a video about hyperlapses, you just go into the source text and just type in hyperlapse. That's literally how easy this is to use. Now you can go in and customize it a little bit more. You can change, the font, you can change the size, the position of it. If there's a shape, you can change that up. For example, this rectangle, you can make into a a rhombus. Is that what it's called? I feel like this is math class all over again. You can change the size, the color, all of that stuff. I try to keep it kind of to a minimum. Basically all the things that you would need, but not too much, so you're not going crazy with just like a million different fields that you could change. Basically trying to keep it really streamlined and really fast for you guys. And again, you can do all of this within Premiere. You do not need to go into After Effects, which is the best part of this whole thing. And here's some guidelines that I would say are really helpful to make these titles look good. First of all, I would keep them pretty small. There's something just like cinematic about having a nice small title, whereas if you make it a little bit bigger, it just right away looks a little bit cheap, at least to me. I don't know about you guys. If you look at other movies also, a lot of times they use kind of smaller titles. It looks nice. And next, don't go overboard. Keep it simple. A lot of times I find that a title just needs a little bit of movement, a little simple animation in, and that's all you need. And that's why we created most of these titles to be really simple. Some of them seem like overly simple, but really that's all you need in most cases. You don't want your titles to be too distracting or just too gimmicky. Choose the title and position it in a way that really fits with your background footage. For example, here I had this hyperlapse with this big highway going around, and all the roads or the highway, they're pointing to the middle. So I just grabbed a really simple title because there's already a lot going on. This little rectangle side wipe. I changed the source text to hyperlapse. And then instead of just having this rectangle, I'm gonna change the skew a little bit so it's this rhombus shape. And I'm gonna change the color of the shape to this teal color. That's it. Really simple, really quick, really easy, and it just has a nice look to it. Another thing that you can do to really enhance the titles is to add some little sound effects, a little whoosh or whatever fits for that title. It really helps to give them a little bit of life and just, again, bring up that production quality or that production value. And then just lastly, experiment. Sometimes you think this title will be perfect, but try a few different ones and customize them a little bit differently, and you might find some really cool variations in these templates, so don't be afraid to customize them and to try different ones. All right, that's literally how easy it is to animate your titles nowadays. You don't have to spend a lot of time, and you don't even have to have a lot of animation skills. You can just buy a template like this and you're good to go. The production quality instantly is a little bit higher, and again, for us, it saves time every single video we make. Instead of always having to go use an After Effects template and go through and change things to make sure it fits that footage, we basically have everything we need straight in Premiere now. So check the link down below if you're interested in these motion graphic templates for Premiere, or just make your own. You can do this exact same thing if you make your own motion graphic templates, or don't, because a lot of people are scared of After Effects and it's actually a lot of work. We've spent a lot of time making this whole library of different motion graphics that we can use in our videos. Okay, I gotta go pack for BC. We're gonna go visit some family and friends there and hopefully do some snowboarding, because there's still no snow here in Ontario. So I've been actually, I've just been whipping around on this thing. See ya.